Hi, this is Duff WA7BFN, and welcome to This Week in LICW, episode number 1 for April 2023. A look at what's new, noteworthy, and happening in the Long Island CW Club. This month found the launch of the LICW Newsletter, a great collection of articles and information by, about, and for amateur radio. I recently talked with its editor, Mike, VE3MKX, about this super publication. Well, how did you get started into this, Mike?
Howard and I were conversing back and forth, and next thing you know, I'm volunteering to do this newsletter, and I've never done one before. So it's a great learning curve, like CW. It's a fantastic organization to spread the news of ham radio and spark interest, to get people interested, get people on the air, to get people to have fun and to think outside the box. So that was my little bit of the foundation there. But the main objective here is to have everybody participate and submit, their story, their document, their pictures. And pictures tell 1,000 words, 1,000,000 words for that matter, in regards to radio, to show pictures of their favorite antennas, of their, favorite radios or anything like that. It's fantastic to share it with people and, promote the other medium.
So, Mike, what are you looking for content?
We're looking for everything. We're looking for stories, how people got started in the hobby, what sparked them to look at CW itself, memorable contacts, memorable things, and to show how they've progressed. Because I think it's tell me something that'll capture my interest, and to say, hey, I started out with that little bit and that DAW, and look where I progressed. I'm building antennas. I'm going out to a park, or, I'm in a HOA, restricted area, but I'm getting on the air and I'm having fun. I'm using the internet to communicate with everybody, to learn things. You go to 4 Days in May, the QRP event, and, you can talk to someone you've never met before in your life, and you can talk to them for a half hour.
Absolutely.
And, and you can build that interest and talk about different things that, create interest in your part of the hobby and someone else's. So,
absolutely. So, Mike, if I wanted to send something to you, where would I do that?
Well, they could send it to myself direct. If you want, you can send it to me. If you go to my call sign, Victor Echo 3 Mike Kilo X-ray, go to QRZ, my email's there, and you can send me a picture and a little blurb. And it doesn't take much to make a submission, because once you just start out, hi, my name is, Bob, and my call's, K2XXX, or whatever the case may be. Next thing you know, you're typing 5-10 minutes and you're going, oh my goodness, this is a lot of stuff I've thrown in here.
That's very true.
Like any ham, give them the platform and they'll speak for an hour.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't take much. So doing that sort of thing. So we're looking for anything, even technical, little project kits or tips. You may have a Vibraplex key compared to a straight key, and just your experiences and tips and tricks of the trade that'll, help someone, do certain things and learn things, because that's where the fun is, when you can try something out, or get a group of people together and say, hey, let's build this and let's get it on the air, and let's start playing around with CW and having fun.
So, Mike, what was that email address one more time?
Mike, and it's Victor Echo 3 Mike Kilo X-ray QRP @gmail.com.
Thanks, Mike. Be sure to check out the LICW Newsletter. It's a great collection of articles and information that I know you'll really enjoy. Well, the 1st of April found the LICW Challenge exploding on the airwaves. An absolute great way for LICW's oldies and newbies alike to get on the air, make contacts, earn points, and, maybe a shot at some great prizes. I caught up with Kat, KK6CN, and Casey, KD2YMM, to provide a little bit of an overview of what's happening in the challenge.
Yeah, so the LICW Challenge is it's a fun and exciting inter-club quarterly contest. If the main objective is just to contact as many LICW members as possible, although you do not have to be a member contacted. If you're an LICW member, obviously you can contact non-members, and a further goal would be to try and reach out to them and get them to join the club. We have a separate website that has all the rules of the challenge, as well as a scoreboard that Kat is managing where users can submit their scores. It currently runs quarterly, so after the end of the quarter, it kind of resets the scoring, and then at the end of the year, we will have grand prizes awarded, kind of a name drawn out of a hat type of thing. It can be anything from LICW swag, different types of apparel, to stickers, to even a couple keys, maybe even a Bagali, I've heard.
So we make these great contacts. How do we submit the scores, Kat?
Okay, so you make a contact. We've got a made up workbook, if you will, where you can put in your score, you put in your contacts, who you contacted, the band, and their call, and then also their designation, their LICW number plus a designation. They're a member, or they could be an instructor, or they might be an administrator, or they might be a special bonus station. And based on those designations, people can get more points for a contact. Instructors, administrators,
and moderators.
And moderators?
Moderators, yes.
Moderators. If you have that designation, I think it's
2 points.
I, A, and M, you get 2 points for that contact instead of 1. And if you contact a bonus station for the month, you will get 3. If you have a bonus station who is also an administrator or a moderator or instructor, you get 5. So I'm a 5-pointer this month.
We also have bonus points for contacting someone in our kids program. We also have bonus points for our club call.
Right.
And then you get 10 extra points if it's your first QSO. And we've already had some conversations on our groups IO that we've had a couple members that have been in the challenge and actually made their first QSO. So that's a quick way to jump up in the lead, is just to get on the air.
So, Kat, how do I send my scores into you?
Okay, that's easy. All you need to do is you can if you're using the workbook that Quentin made up, and not everybody is, but if you are, you look on the second sheet there, and you have a total score, which is the big bold letters at the very top of that page. And then you look down and you find a total number of QSOs. And you can then send it, what is it, Casey?
Scoring at LICWchallenge.org.
And so so basically, if you didn't have that, you need to know that what I'm looking for every time is, I'm not looking for what did I do this week. I'm looking for what's your total, your cumulative as of whenever you send it to me. Score and the number of QSOs you made.
So, Kat, how often do we send in the scores?
You can send it every day if you wanted. Once a week is easier on me, but yes, once a week is good because I'm going to update that weekly. Okay. And it's kind of fun to see. You might look on there and say, "Oh, I want to beat this person." That's right. It might give people some incentive,
Right.
I'm doing as they come in. I made up a little database, and I just I throw you in there, and update you, and then at the end of the month, I just spit it out into a query and I put it on there.
Thanks, Casey. Thanks, Kat. And thanks to all who make the LICW Challenge great. Among the over 70 classes being offered in LICW, you'll find a curious one called Morris Reno. Well, as it turns out, it's one of the more interesting tools to help you along the CW highway. This little computerized giant is truly amazing. Roger, N3GE, explains.
The Morse-Reno is an exceptional tool for learning Morse code. And what makes it especially good is it monitors and gives you direct feedback on your fist. So whereas there are programs galore on the internet that will help you listen to Morse code, the Morse-Reno gives you an honest feedback on how well you send Morse code.
Sending the code, of course, is really important, but how about receiving? Does that work?
Yes, it's great for copying the code. It is fantastic. It's got an echo trainer. It's got a cock trainer. They've incorporated the instant character recognition programs that the LICW is using now. Willie put that in I think the last major revision, so that it does that also. The only reason I upplayed the fist is that's something that this gives you that you can't get off the computer very well.
So, Roger, where did the Morris Reno come from?
It originated, Duff, on a napkin, probably at a bar. It might have been a coffee house. Willie and some of the other Morse guys in Austria were meeting for a convention or whatever, and they started discussing what kind of tool could you use. And they got out a napkin, like all good engineers, and I've done that also, okay? And they started sketching out what the circuit should look like if I'm going to develop a Morse Reno in this case, or something that will allow the student to learn and send Morse code. Willie picked up on it in Austria, and he did a GoFundMe program, and he figured that he would maybe sell 500 of them if he was really lucky. So they started putting it together. They built the first one. In fact, this is one of the original ones, and this speaker here is out of a BMW.
I'll be darned.
Okay? So he grabbed different parts from different places and started putting it together. It was successful. It was so successful that right now he's got somewhere around 7,000 or 8,000 of these in the field. And there's at least 300 or 400 LICW members. And I would say that that's like an iceberg. There's probably 3 or 4 times that many that are not in our register, if you would. It comes with a menu that you can change and walk your way through, okay? With the menu, it's got an echo trainer. The advantage of the echo trainer is it's got several different functions, but it will send you a letter or a word, and you have to send it back. So it gives you an instant response. And if you don't send it back right, it doesn't work. It's got a Cox trainer, does something similar, and within it has an echo trainer. We've got a transceiver, so you can use it to send out and receive. I use the CW keyer the most. The CW keyer just allows you to grab it, set whatever speed you want, and once you set your speed, then you can practice. For instance, in the morning, when I do my training, I train first for my ears, and I may do 15, 20, 25 minutes of listening and copying code, and then I shift over and do my fist.
So, Roger, how about BC 1 and 2?
Yep, that's brand new. He's incorporated it. You can go in and preset it to whatever BC level you are at, okay, and then go back into Cox Trainer and use that as your function, just like you were in class. And it will talk about those 3 numbers or 3 letters or characters that you're picking up in BC. Willie has really supported LICW back and forth. For one thing, he gives LICW members a discount. If you need to know that discount, send me an email. I'll send it to you.
So you also conduct a Morris Reno how-to group, and when has that happened?
That happens every Sunday morning on Zoom A at 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time or 1400 Zulu.
Sounds great. Bring all your questions and answers and a little practice and go from there. Roger, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And we'll look forward to more of you and Morris Reno.
Thank you very much. You have a good one.
You as well. This Week in LICW is produced by the informational services of the Long Island CW Club. Questions, comments can be made to WA7BFN at msn.com. Till next time, this is Duff WA7BFN 73's